I apologize for my voice today, so hopefully you can understand me. But we were home at Drake, or home against Drake this weekend, and it was a really, really good match for our team. We had on Saturday, and we were able to hold all three of the people that they put in on the right side to a negative hitting percentage. So very happy with that execution. That actually has been one of the areas of our defense that we have struggled with. So really good to see our left side block as well as our right. It was probably the best serving match that we have had this year. When you look at the stats, we had 10 aces, but it was more than just the aces that we had. I think we did a really good job of getting Drake out of system for a lot of the match as well, which obviously takes a little bit of stress off your defense. Amy Held and Ashley Sinnott had 4 aces, but I thought they also went on a couple other runs getting Drake out of system. But from top to bottom, I thought all of our servers were really aggressive behind the line on Saturday. So that was really good to see that comfortability that they're getting. Offensively, I talked last week about eliminating some of the errors that we've been having, some of those unforced errors, and we really did a great job in games 1 and 3. We had 2 errors and 3 errors respectively, which I will take that number any day. Set 2, we had 9, which is not a number we like to see, but if you remember last week, I talked about how we kind of let that go into our defense and how we were performing on the defensive side, and I thought the positive side of that was we didn't let that affect our defense this weekend. So very good to see that, and also to be able to have a couple sets in there where we got the unforced error number that we like to see. So proud of that. I don't talk a lot about stats, but I would like to just bring up Amy Held. She had another double-double for us on Saturday, but I think the biggest stat in my mind for her, she hit 500, and 500 is a number that we're praying that our middles get to, and it's a really good number for our middles, but for an outside pin hitter who, in my opinion, gets a lot of garbage sets, out of system type sets, 500 is just an amazing stat, and she has just progressively over the last, I'd say 3 weeks, really become an offensive threat for us, and it's a great time for that. So very proud of Amy's performance on the offensive side on Saturday as well. So a good match for us. As Colin said, we have our last regular season weekend this weekend, and we have Loyola on Friday night, who, if you remember, last time we played them at their place, it was a 5-set thriller, I would call it. A very good Loyola team. They have 2 pins that are in the top 5 in kills per set, and so last time when we played them, they did do a really good job against us. So a big focus for us will be to be able to find a better way to defend those 2 kids, but also be able to stick with defending their other offensive players too that do a nice job. So that will be a focus for us. Loyola was a team also that we had a lot of really long rallies, so we'll expect that on Friday. They're a team that is looking to get into the tournament. They're right on the bubble there, so we look for a very motivated Loyola team coming in on Friday. And then on Saturday, we take on the Braves. And Bradley is a team that has not won a lot of conference matches, but I always look at those teams as very dangerous. We get to see a lot of video on all the conference teams, and they have played some really good volleyball over the conference season. They just have not been able to get a lot of wins. So to me, that's dangerous. They have 2 pins that are doing very well. Kelsey Cave, who's actually from Iowa, is doing a really good job in the middle for them. So we also expect a good match on Saturday. The other part, as Colin said, we have 5 seniors, Kayla, Lindsay, Amy, Jaden, and Ashley, that we are going to recognize and celebrate on Saturday. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit of an emotional match for us as well. 5 is actually a pretty big number of seniors, but there is absolutely no way that I could express how much that those 5 kids have meant to our program over the last 4 or 5 years. And it's not just what they've done on the volleyball court, and they've definitely done their share in the volleyball court, but they have just been tremendous representatives of our program in every possible way. And it'll be a pretty emotional night, but I think the biggest thing for them is one of the things that they're most proud about with their experience at UNI is their fans and is the support that they've had over the years. So to me, there's no way to better celebrate them to have a great crowd there on Saturday night. So we'd love to pack the McLeod Center this weekend for a couple of regular season conference matches. Any questions?
Thank you. gap between playing Loyola and Evansville isn't as great as it was, say, with Missouri State or something. So how much does that help in the preparation, the fact that you recently played them?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
I said the gap between playing Loyola and Evansville, it hasn't been as great as it was like with Missouri State. So how's that helping preparation?
I think, obviously since we've played them recently, we have a lot of things that I will go back to that we had for a game plan, but being able to evaluate that film and know some of the things that they either did differently or we didn't execute well will be the biggest part of that. So I think there's definitely pros to it just because we've seen them, but I think there are some definite things that we have to do differently to have success against Loyola.
Just looking at the top 4 teams of the league and how close they're separated, how crazy could the finish be for those top spots?
I know, it's a lot of fun, and I never really look at it a whole lot, but I actually looked at it last night a little bit. But I think the fun part is there's a lot of really, really good matches left to be played all over the conference, including ourselves. But just to have no idea what some of those matches are going to produce, we've had some different things happening even in the last couple weeks that maybe we didn't think would happen or would for sure happen. But I think one of the best parts about the conference this year is getting a chance to go and compete in your match, and then after the match, go see what everybody else does as well. So a lot to happen in the last couple weeks for sure. All right, thank you.